Ableton Live 11 supports MPE, MIDI polyphonic expression. What's cool about MPE is that you can change the timbre for each voice. Every finger can dynamically control the color of a sound, and that makes for really interesting and unique sounding synths. Before we do anything, the first thing that you need to do is make sure that your MPE enabled controller is connected to your computer. So I need to click on MIDI Studio and then go to Open Bluetooth Configuration. And then that shows this box, keyboard block, and it says connect. So all I do is click that and now it's set. In Live's preferences, you need to go down to the Link Tempo MIDI tab on the side here, and then go down to MIDI ports, and I'm looking for my keyboard block. Block's input, I need to make sure that track is on and also MPE is on. Now when I hit a note, I can see it registering up here, so I know it's ready to go. Wavetable supports MPE, so I'm going to load that up. In order to make this big, I'm going to click right here on this triangle, and it's going to expand it, and then I'm going to click and drag this divider all the way up so it fills the whole screen. Down in the mod matrix area, slide, note pitch bend, also press. Those are the ones that are unique to MPE controllers. Now, if I play a note on the keyboard and then drag it down, I can see that note pitch bend is giving a little representation of that sliding motion. And right now it's set to 48 semitones. I don't want that at all. So I'll just put it to 0. It's just too hard to like intonate chords consistently if there is per note pitch bend. I just have a basic sine wave, so for oscillator 1 I'm going to change it. I really like the vintage ones. The OB6 shapes is probably my favorite one. One thing that I like to do with MPE is to control the envelope of the sound using the pressure. So let's assign press to amp. If I just go like this, and I'm going to say 100% of the pressure is going to control the amplitude of the sound. So now if I want a sound to start really quickly, I could just press it hard at once. And then if I want it to gradually swell in, I could just press it slowly. And then same thing with the release. If I want it to slowly die out versus stop immediately. Sound is a little dry for my taste. I'm going to add a hybrid reverb, and then I'm going to set it to algorithm and use the quartz algorithm. I'm going to use LFO1 to modulate the wavetable position. Click on wavetable position, and then LFO1, I'm going to do like, just want a little bit of movement. I like it when my LFOs do not retrigger, so I'm going to turn both of these off. And then I think I'll also use LFO2 to modulate the pitch slightly. So I'm going to type in 0.05. Except I want it a little faster. I like how that sounds as it gradually comes in. So what I'm going to do is set the amount of LFO2. Let's do like 50%. And then I'll set press to also control LFO2 amount. So now, as I press the note, the amount that it's modulating the amp increases. Let's try 75. Sounds kind of cool. A couple things I'm hearing is that I want to filter the sound, and I also want to get oscillator 2 in here as well. I'm going to go with the same wavetable as the other one, but I'm going to pitch it down by -5, and then I'm also going to bring this down. So let's hear that. I think I'll put it more in the square area up here. I think I like that. I want to get some movement in this as well. So I'm going to use LFO2 to modulate this. I think that sounds pretty nice. Let's also modulate the level of oscillator 2 using the same LFO. That sounds pretty nice. This needs some filtering. I'm going to turn on the high pass filter just to get rid of some of the lowest stuff. Somewhere in there is good. I'm also thinking it might be nice to have the slide on the C-board control the filter cutoff of the low pass. If I just click on this, it shows up right here in this lane, and then I could assign slide to it. So at the lowest point, I want it to be probably about there. And then the highest I ever want it to get is maybe about there. Now there's this range. That's the whole sweep. One thing that I really like about how Live handles the slide is that it tracks exactly where you are. So if I'm playing on the C-board, I'm not always playing it in exactly the same spot on the y-axis of the key. Every time that I hit it, the filter is going to be in a slightly different spot. Other MPE compatible software synths that I have used register key press as being kind of in the middle. So it's like always going to be at the same value. If you deviate from that area while your finger is actually on the key, that will then modulate the slide parameter. But I prefer it where it's like it knows exactly where you are, so every hit is going to be slightly different. It's cool because you can control the filter for each individual note. So like if I want to play the bass notes and I want it to be darker, I'd touch lower on the keyboard. And then if I want it to be brighter in the top end lead stuff, I just play higher up on the actual key. It's a lot of fun.